Tonight, I want to tell you a story. Not a story about heroes or adventures. Not a story about someone who had everything figured out. This is a story about a quiet discovery. A discovery that changed the way I saw my life. And perhaps, before this night is over, it may change the way you see yours. So settle into your bed. Allow your body to soften. Let your shoulders relax. Feel the support beneath you. And as your breathing becomes slower and calmer, allow yourself to drift into this gentle journey with me. Because tonight's story begins on a strange evening. An evening when I was absolutely convinced that I was failing. I remember the evening clearly. The sky was painted in shades of silver and blue. The sun had disappeared beyond the horizon, leaving only a faint glow behind. I sat alone beside my window. The room was quiet. The world outside seemed peaceful. Yet inside my mind, a storm was raging. I thought about all the things I hadn't accomplished. All the goals I hadn't reached. All the dreams that still felt distant. Every mistake replayed itself. Every delay felt like proof that I wasn't moving forward. I compared myself to people who seemed ahead. People who appeared successful, confident, certain, while I felt lost. The more I thought about it, the heavier everything became. Until eventually, I whispered something to myself. A sentence I had repeated many times before. I'm not doing enough. The moment those words left my lips, a strange feeling settled over me. Not sadness, not anger, something different, something quiet, as though the room itself had heard me. And disagreed. Unable to sit still any longer, I left my house and began walking. The evening air was cool. The streets were nearly empty. A gentle breeze moved through the trees. I walked without any destination, simply following the road wherever it led. After some time, I noticed a narrow path I had never seen before. At the entrance stood an old lantern. Its warm golden light glowed softly in the darkness. The lantern looked ancient, as though it had been waiting there for years. Something about it drew me closer. So I followed the path. The farther I walked, the quieter everything became. The city noises faded. The world felt distant. Eventually, I arrived at a small clearing. At the center stood a wooden bench. And beside it sat an elderly man. He looked peaceful, as though he carried no burdens at all. When he saw me, he smiled. Not the kind of smile people use to be polite. A genuine smile. The kind that says, I understand. Without thinking, I sat beside him. For a while, neither of us spoke. We simply listened to the wind. And then he asked a question. What brings you here tonight? I sighed. A feeling, I said. What feeling? That I'm falling behind. The old man nodded slowly, as though he had heard those words many times before. Then he asked another question. Compared to whom? I opened my mouth, and then closed it, because I didn't have an answer. The old man pointed toward a garden nearby. In the moonlight, I could see rows of flowers. Some were tall, others were small, some had bloomed, others had not. Tell me, he said. Which flower is failing? I looked carefully. None of them seemed to be failing. They were simply growing, at different speeds, in different ways. The old man nodded. Exactly. He picked up a tiny flower that had only begun to bloom. No one stands over this flower and tells it to hurry. No one compares it to the others. No one says it should already be bigger. It grows according to its season. The wind moved gently through the garden. And suddenly I realized something. I had been demanding things from myself that I would never demand from a flower. I had expected constant growth, constant success, constant progress, without rest, without pauses, without setbacks. The old man smiled. Nature never rushes, and yet everything arrives. The old man invited me to continue walking. Together we followed a trail through the woods. The moonlight illuminated the path. Eventually we reached a bridge stretching across a river. It was unlike any bridge I had seen before. At first glance, it appeared incomplete. Large sections seemed missing. I frowned. How does anyone cross this? The old man pointed ahead. Take a step. Reluctantly, I stepped forward. And something remarkable happened. A wooden plank appeared beneath my foot. I took another step. Another plank appeared. Then another. And another. The bridge revealed itself only as I moved forward. Not before. I stopped. A chill of recognition moved through me. Because this bridge felt familiar. Very familiar. The old man spoke softly. This is how life works. We want to see the entire path. We want certainty. We want guarantees. But most of the time, the next step appears only after we take it. I stood there quietly, thinking of all the moments I had hesitated because I couldn't see the whole future. thinking of opportunities I had feared, dreams I had delayed, plans I had postponed, waiting for certainty that was never meant to come. The bridge stretched farther ahead, and for the first time in a long while, uncertainty didn't seem frightening. It seemed natural. Beyond the bridge lay a wide valley. The moonlight illuminated countless stones scattered across the landscape. Each stone glowed faintly, like stars resting on the earth. What are they? I asked. The old man smiled. Touch one. I knelt beside a glowing stone. The moment my hand touched it, a memory appeared. I saw myself helping a friend through a difficult time. A moment I had completely forgotten. I moved to another stone. A different memory appeared. A challenge I had survived. A fear I had overcome. A lesson I had learned. Stone after stone revealed moments from my life. Small victories, quiet successes, acts of kindness, personal growth, moments of courage. Most of them had seemed insignificant at the time. Yet together they formed something beautiful. A map. Proof that I had grown. Proof that I had changed. Proof that I had come much farther than I realized. The old man watched me. We remember our failures, but we often forget our victories. I looked across the valley. Thousands of glowing stones stretched into the distance. And suddenly I understood. I wasn't standing where I started. I had traveled farther than I knew. Hours seemed to pass as we continued walking. Eventually we reached a hill overlooking the valley. I looked back. The view was breathtaking. The river, the bridge, the garden, the glowing stones. Everything was visible from above. And then I noticed something strange. The giant mountain I had imagined earlier, the mountain of my failures, was nowhere to be seen. I searched the horizon. Nothing. The old man noticed my confusion. Looking for something? The mountain, I said. What mountain? The one I've been carrying. The old man chuckled softly. My friend, that mountain exists only in your thoughts. I stood silently, because deep down, I knew he was right. The pressure, the comparisons, the endless self-criticism, most of it had been created by my own mind, not reality. Reality was different. Reality showed progress, growth, effort, learning, and resilience. The night grew calmer. The stars shone brighter. The air felt softer. The old man and I sat together beneath a tree. Neither of us spoke for a while. Eventually he turned toward me. There is something important you need to understand. I listened carefully. You are not meant to become someone else. You are meant to become yourself. The words settled gently into my heart. You don't need to race anyone. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to have everything figured out. You simply need to continue. The leaves rustled softly overhead. And for the first time in a very long time, I felt peace. Not because all my problems had disappeared. Not because every dream had come true. But because I finally understood something. Progress isn't always visible. Growth isn't always dramatic. Sometimes growth looks like surviving a difficult day. Sometimes it looks like trying again. Sometimes it looks like resting. And sometimes it looks like simply continuing. Eventually the old man stood. The journey was ending. Together we walked back toward the lantern. The path felt familiar now. Comforting. When we reached the clearing, he smiled. I think you know the way from here. I nodded. Then I asked one final question. Will I ever see you again? The old man smiled warmly. You don't need to. Everything I showed you already exists inside you. And with that, he stepped back into the moonlight. I blinked, and he was gone. Only the lantern remained, its gentle golden light glowing peacefully in the darkness. I walked home slowly. The streets were quiet. The sky was filled with stars. Nothing around me had changed. Yet everything felt different, because I no longer saw my life through the lens of failure. I saw it through the lens of growth. I saw evidence of resilience, evidence of courage, evidence of progress, and perhaps the greatest discovery of all, that I had been doing better than I thought. Much better. And now, as you rest here tonight, I hope you remember something. You have survived difficult days. You have carried burdens nobody else could see. You have faced challenges, learned lessons, taken steps forward, even when those steps felt small. You may not be where you want to be yet, but that does not mean you are failing. Like the flowers in the garden, you are growing in your own season. Like the bridge, your path will reveal itself one step at a time. Like the glowing stones, your victories are far more numerous than you realize. And as sleep gently approaches, allow yourself to release the pressure. Release the comparisons. Release the belief that you should already be somewhere else. There is nowhere else you need to be tonight. You are here. You are enough. You are growing. And you are doing better than you think. So take one slow breath. And another. Feel your body becoming heavier. Feel your mind becoming quieter. The night is peaceful. The stars are watching. And sleep is waiting gently for you. Rest now. Rest deeply. And let yourself drift into a calm, peaceful sleep. Good night.